You can find them almost everywhere. In our foods and drinks, in our medication, and pretty much everywhere indoors and outdoors. They come in a wide variety of different shapes, sizes, and species, and they're an important cornerstone of our ecosystems. They've been around for millions of years, and they haven't changed much since then. Can you guess what organism I'm referring to? If you said bacteria, you're wrong. This is a video about fungi. What's the first thing that you think of when I say the word fungus? I'd imagine it's something akin to your typical forest floor mushroom with a rounded cap and a long stalk. And while that certainly does cover the vast majority of fungi that you can find in the Basidium phylum, I can assure you that not only are there way more phylums to cover, but that the scope of fungi stretches well beyond that single group. But at its core, fungi generally share all of these criteria in common. 1. They're either unicellular or composed of a filamentous substance known as hyphae or mycelia, which is singular for mycelium. 2. They reproduce via spores, which enables these fungi to reproduce either sexually or asexually, as well as often survive in harsh conditions. And 3. These organisms usually absorb their nutrients from outside their bodies using exoenzymes, gaining nutrients from other sources heterotrophically. And now that you know what makes a fungi, we can start discussing all the different types of fungi. There are many different phyla found in the fungi kingdom, but for the sake of brevity, we'll be discussing two of the more common and well-known ones. Basidiomycota, as previously mentioned, is one of the most commonly known phylum of fungi, which covers mushrooms such as the ones on the ground or hanging off of trees, rusts that you might find on leaves, and smuts, which commonly grow off of grains and other crops like that. Next up is the Ascomyphota phylum, which accounts for about 75% of all known fungi in the world. This group includes stuff like lichens growing on rocks, many different plant diseases such as the chestnut blight, which nearly wiped out the American chestnut tree in the early 20th century, as well as the apple scab, a staple fungi-related problem for any orchard. Not to mention yeast, which helps transform our flat drinks and flat doughs into fluffy breads and bubbly ales due to the organism's metabolic processes. Fungi can be found in many different aspects of our lives. We use them as biopesticides for our plants to combat diseases and pests. We use them to aid our body's recovery processes through their use as antibiotics such as penicillin, and we can find them in many different aspects of our culture. These organisms play an important role in the carbon and nitrogen cycles through their processes of decomposition, which breaks down complex molecules from decaying organisms into simpler molecules such as CO2 and water. These simpler chemicals can then be used by plants and animals alike, allowing the cycle to begin anew. Whether we realize it or not, fungi play an important part in our everyday lives, most notably in the many different kinds of foods that we eat. From its use in conjunction with cheese aging to make so-called moldy cheese such as brie and blue cheese, to its addition to cooked grains and soybeans to make the savory flavor of umami from koji, fungi can be very beneficial in our culinary pursuits. As well as the aforementioned antibiotic uses, many other fungi have been found to have homeopathic uses in medication, such as with hen of the woods and turkey's tail. Architects have even begun experimenting with using mycelium as a building material. And as you can probably tell by now, the fungi kingdom is a remarkable and unique group of organisms that affects our lives in more ways than we're probably aware of. And I hope this video has been a great introduction to you for the wonderful world of fungi.